Every year I see trees dressing up in fluffy fur coats, trying to hide from the hot breath of cold winter. Every morning I start a new life, old in habits, but new in feelings and thoughts. The same Bela river, which means white river, is seen differently each time. Every day we dissolve into the stream of life and fly from island to island in search of a happy and comfortable life. But sometimes we find ourselves on a nice flow, which, although ascetic, moves us forward. My dear friend, difficulties and trials have always moved me forward, and I had to go through a large number of them in my relatively short life. But all these made me stronger and more stable, and oddly enough, more optimistic. So the ice of trials did not fetter my heart. On the contrary, it melted it. I grew up where no one would want to be, on the most dangerous outskirts of the city in the dashing 90s, among bandits, drug addicts, alcoholics and prostitutes. But from the depressive and rough environment around me, I became more gentle and delicate. And I've also learned to combine adequacy and daydreaming. As for me, these are very important skills in life. Without healthy daydreaming, the heart can freeze. And without an adequate view of the world, there will be no stability, especially emotional. Therefore, when they call me an inappropriate romantic, I correct that I am an adequate dreamer, who knows what harsh reality is, but at the same time retains faith in beauty and goodness.
Может, здесь другой лишь открывает. Это не звонилось. Пошли.
If we stop seeing the beauty of every day, if we give up and stop doing ordinary or our favorite things, if we focus on finding those to blame for our troubles, what will become to the world? What will happen to the human world if one needs to chop all enemies to pieces, another wants to cleanse the world of evil or injustice, a third wants to heat up an already heated situation, and the rest are desperately struggling for existence. Oh yeah, there are still those who live in their own world and sing their songs far from life. Sometimes I can seem like that, when I mix my 1001 dreams in such an inappropriate place and time. I wonder when is the right time, and who if not me, dreamy? You know, my dear friend, it's very easy to freeze from cold and get covered in ice right now. A person adapts to everything, first of all to tragic events and news, which means that it is necessary, no, not to break this ice, but to roll out a path of kindness, love and hope. Now we need to build bridges of friendship, not iron curtains of hostility and condemnation. At the most human level. For example, you can visit me without leaving home. While I'm cooking, we can talk about this and that. By the way, I'm looking forward to your comments, which have become very dear to me. We can even walk around my winter city while our pie is baking, and you won't even freeze unlike me. By the way, do you know how our river freezes? Every year I notice how winter carefully wraps the earth in a fluffy blanket. And then Grandpa Frost comes, and the first ice floes begin to drift along the river. It doesn't want to freeze. It wants to murmur, talk, but the cold breath of the strict grandfather hands over its hot water and forces it to submit. And the river quietens little by little, finally creaking with colliding ice floes. Every year the river freezes differently. This time it surrendered more quietly than ever, without the slightest sound. The frost is getting stronger and angrier, and the ice floes are getting bigger. Soon, somewhere downstream, they will bump into each other, angrily jostle, get stuck, and finally block their way to freedom. If you were around, my dear friend, I would treat you to my simple but delicious cabbage pie. I don't want our hearts to get frozen. By the way, you've probably already guessed why our river is called Белая, which means white.